Here we are, it's April 13th, we're at the S-344, and here we are looking towards Water Conservation Area 3A. And then if we look down here, we're looking on the Big Cypress side of the levee. And as you can see, there's, can you see the water movement there? Let me zoom in. Maybe you can see it. There it is. You see the water movement? That's water coming from the culverts. Now you also might notice there that there's a hole in the culvert, at the top of the culvert, and water, we saw some fish swimming through there. So we're wondering, this gate is technically not supposed to be open, but there's definitely water getting through it. So let's take a look on the other side. So here we are walking on the upstream side of the levee, and we don't have the tools to see the gate settings here, but there's basically two culverts, and don't know if you can see that, but if you look down, it does look like the gates are closed. But what we're hypothesizing is we can see the water on the back side of the culverts. Here, can you see that? The water is probably, there must be some holes on those culverts on the top side, just like on the downstream end, and that's creating a conduit for that water to flow south. In terms of volume, don't want to hypothesize on a volume other than its visible flow, for sure. Unlike the S-343A and B, which when we drove by had no flow at all. So this is a case where it looks like possibly these gates are closed, but water is getting around the gates because of the holes in the tops of the culverts, or degradation of the culverts. We'll take one more look down here at the bottom. So here we are on the upstream side, and you should be able to see that water. You know, it's activity, so the water's finding a hole in that culvert somewhere. Without polarized glasses, it's hard to see.
Oh yeah, there's a gigantic cut.
Oh, you see the cut?
Yeah.
We have,
it's
Billy here can see a cut
12
with this
inches wide all the way around the
corrugation
of the pipe.
It's the culvert's in bad shape, and that must have recently happened because we were up here 3 weeks ago and there was no flow at the same spot. So something happened. Aging infrastructure, stuff like that. It just needs a little maintenance. We're on the other side of the levee, so
in the pipe,
Billy can see a cut in the pipe over here. So gates are closed, but it's because there's culvert exposed to open water that's degraded over time, or caused what's the word I'm looking for? Degradation?
Degradation,
and it's rusted over time. So we'll take one last look at that flow.
Those cross ties on the columns, both sides of it, you can see some whirlpooling as the water is coming around those columns.
And like you said, the vegetation is a sign that that's where all the flow is getting in, where the vegetation's clumped up. You see that oftentimes on the upstream end of a cross drain. So anyhow, this is issue. Gates closed, but the gates open because of the water wormholing around. We'll take one last look on the downstream side. So here we are looking on the downstream end again, and you can see this was the clue that gave us the answer that, okay, we couldn't officially see how the gates were set other than visually. But we can see flow moving through these culverts as a result of that, the holes in the culverts. You can see the flow. Here we are looking back towards the upstream side of the levee, we're on the downstream side. And again, mystery solved. Yes, there's water flowing through this culvert, and that's interesting to see. But it's, there you can see it flowing over the buoys there. So what we can say, when we were here 3 weeks ago, it was not flowing here at all. So whatever happened to that culvert that it degraded to allow water to get through occurred within the last 3 weeks. So that's kind of interesting. Thanks for watching.